What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, on day 3 for the Chargers, round 4, pick number 105, they went with an Alabama defensive line player. His name is Justin Eboigbe. I don't know, I'm not saying that correct, but yes, it's always pretty good to get, especially defensive linemen from Alabama. This was the one this year that I did not know much about, if not anything, but they obviously targeted him pretty early. I think they even said they had a second round evaluation on him, so he probably could have been picked up within the last 2 rounds in the second or third, but they waited until here, so they definitely thought this was a very big time value pick for them. So we'll see how he does. I know they definitely needed some defensive line help officially on the inside, so hopefully this is what Justin will be able to do. And then the first of those 5th round picks, they did get 2 cornerbacks. That first one was one from Maryland at number 135. His name is Tarheeb Still. So once again, a player that I did not see in a lot of mock drafts or hear much about him at all. So I was kind of getting a little bit worried watching this live on Saturday. But yes, luckily they did pick it up after this, but he looked like he was a pretty good, solid player, and they listed him as a defensive back, so obviously that means he could play multiple positions, as you heard me talk about in the past. So at least he's not just drafted for one area or one side or something like that. So at least he's very versatile, so that's nice to see. And they also did that with their next 5th round pick in that same position at defensive back at 140 in the 5th round, and got a Notre Dame player in Cam Hart, who I did talk about before in the mock draft process and all that stuff. He was a guy that I liked quite a bit, especially because of how good he did against USC. It kind of just seemed like he did pretty good against USC this year, and that was sort of it. But he's a 6'3" corner, which is pretty tall for that position. They're usually just right under 6 foot, but he's a very tall guy. So yeah, his speed down the field covering probably won't be good, but if you need him to play inside in some type of zone defense, which is what the new defense will most likely be, it's pretty much the same concepts, but obviously different coaches now. But yes, I know, I think his same safeties coach also was recently hired from Notre Dame too, so he definitely knows him very well, so he knows how good of a player Cam Hart could be. So that's a pretty good pickup in my opinion all around. And then in the 6th round, they finally went back to offense and got the Troy running back at 181, Kamani Vidal, who I did hear about him, watching different mock draft and all that type of stuff, podcasts before this, that he was a pretty good late round running back to target, even though he's from a school like Troy, and he's got over 4,000 yards or something like that, some crazy stats. He's been used quite a bit. He's been very productive in that level he's playing. Basically, it's still Division One, but you can still consider it a lower division because you're not playing against USC's, Michigan's, Alabama's, all that stuff. But he did perform very well in that conference, and I think it was one of the MVPs or Player of the Year, something like that, in that conference too. So very talented. It's not that big, 5'8", but he's over 200 plus pounds, so he's a big bruising type of guy, so hopefully he'll be a good asset to this committee that they're building up at that running back position for the Chargers. And then I believe in the 7th round now, there were 2 picks. They had 2 wide receivers at 225. They ended up going with the USC wide receiver in Brenden, who fell quite a bit. A lot of people thought maybe he could be selected as high as the 3rd round, but somehow was still on the board all the way in the 7th. And I know the Chargers had brought him in pretty recently for some pre-draft evaluation and interviews and stuff, so it obviously went well as long as he was still on the board. I thought if they were targeting him, they would have picked him too, but for some reason he slid. But luckily now he's going to be staying in LA, so it's a nice pickup for my LA Chargers to pick up one of my USC guys, so definitely very happy and excited for him. And then yes, when it came to that last 7th round pick, it was another wide receiver, this time from Michigan at 253. His name is Cornelius Johnson. I did hear about him a little bit before the draft, but obviously a guy that they probably get to maybe be way down on the depth chart at wide receiver, but also maybe a guy to help out in special teams too, because I think Rice is going to help out more to be maybe your third or fourth best receiver as of right now. But I think Johnson, obviously most of the head coaches and most of the coaching staff knows him pretty well since they came from Michigan as well, so they know how good of a guy he is. And plus, these two receivers are pretty big. They're definitely over 6'2", 6'3", and I don't know what that means for like Darius Davis, because even Josh Palmer is a little bit shorter, like 6'1", maybe. So I don't know if they're just trying to get some bigger athletic guys. And yeah, that was what we thought. And Quentin Johnston was their first round pick last year, but he didn't really perform. But I guess they're trying to find a specific type of receiver, maybe really good blockers and can catch the ball as well. So we'll see how this goes. That was their last official pick, but we'll get into who they ended up signing. I think they signed 21 undrafted free agents, so we'll get into that real quick. All right, a lot of guys here, so I'll try to get through the names real quick. Another Michigan guy as well, this time a guard. His name is Carson Barnhart. They got a quarterback, Casey Bauman. A Georgia Tech tight end, Luke Benson. Florida State safety, Akeem Dent, a guy I really like, so I'm glad they picked him up. Fresno State wide receiver, Jalen Gill. Notre Dame safety, Thomas Harper. South Dakota State tight end, Zach Hines. North Carolina State outside linebacker, Savion Jackson, another guy I liked. Ole Miss linebacker, Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste. Oklahoma State wide receiver, Leon Johnson. East Carolina wide receiver, Jalen Johnson. North Carolina State cornerback, Robert Kennedy. Defensive lineman, Michael Mason. Outside linebacker, Tremont Morris Brash. A tackle named Tyler McKellen. A TCU guard, Willis Patrick. A Clemson safety in Jalen Phillips. A tackle in Tyler Smith. And an Ole Miss cornerback, Zamari Walton. A linebacker, LaQuay Washington. A center/guard in Bucky Williams as well to end that list. So yeah, a lot of offensive linemen. Definitely went heavy a bit more on the receivers and safeties as well, because I know they drafted a couple guys that could maybe be playing that position, but actually no, because yeah, it was just cornerbacks, huh? So I guess they're trying to fill out that extra third safety through here. And obviously I like Dent before the draft process, so maybe he's a guy. And obviously I'm pretty sure Derwin James talked good about him too, because that was the college he went to as well. So yeah, definitely very excited about him. And even the receivers too, got a couple more, and they're very tall too, 6'2", 6'3 plus. Very strong receivers too, probably good at blocking as well. So definitely looking forward to seeing all these guys compete in the next OTAs or summer workouts, whatever they call it, and hopefully be able to see a lot of them during the preseason games, and hopefully some of them will be able to make the full 53-man roster and maybe the practice squad as well. And yes, the Lakers beat Denver in Game 4, 119-108 at home. LeBron had 30 points. Anthony Davis had 25 points and 23 rebounds, which tied a playoff career high as well. And I think even D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves stepped up with 20-plus points as well. So that obviously got the job done. Hopefully they can continue that. I don't think they have to score 20 points, all four of them, but at least get 15 plus should be enough, and hopefully try to bring the series back. I know they play again Monday for Game 5 in Denver, so that's going to be a tough turnaround. Obviously, only a day rest and all that flight and stuff, trying to play at that high elevation again, but hopefully the Lakers can put up a fight. I was kind of a bit afraid because they had that double-digit lead once again, but luckily they were still able to keep it most of the way. I think they even pushed it up to 20-plus points as well, which was nice to see. So yeah, hopefully all these guys can step up. Hopefully they're not, thinking about 1, 2, 3 Cancun and going on vacation yet, especially try to get some rest before the whole Olympics things this summer. But yes, definitely looking forward to that Game 5. I didn't watch most of this game because I was a bit scared to see the Lakers season lose, so I might not do that again for all you Laker fans as well. So hopefully that will be a nice, recipe, a little superstition recipe for them to win Game 5 Monday. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.